So you just saw PokeSweet 69 DeGods. You saw mainstream media cover it. You saw your next door neighbor talk about it. You come on Twitter and see everybody rocking a DeGods PFP. Now you want to buy one, but you have no idea which one to get because they're all so beautiful and you've only got a certain amount of soul to spend. Well, in this video, hopefully I'm going to give you guys a better idea of how you can pick your first DeGod and hopefully have a better time trading your way up to your favorite forever DeGod, or if you may find joy in becoming a full-time OTC trader. Let's get into it. Hey yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the Thunder Academy. This is Jet once again back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the DeGods buying guide part 1. I know this is definitely going to be a multi-part video because there's just so much to talk about in terms of the DeGods collection. The art is beautiful, so much detail, so much beautiful traits, so many nice combinations that you can get into. There's the mythics, there's the X-ray skins, there's the poker skins, there's the zombie skins, there's also the coveted gold skins, and plenty of combinations, plenty of rare ones, the Mickey DeGods, the Hawaiian gods. I mean, anyways, so much to talk about, so let's get straight into it. All right, so let's talk about my first DeGod. So my first DeGod was actually this red DeGod with Babuksha hat trait. Now, when I first saw this one, I thought it was really, really beautiful because I had my first interaction with DeGods when I came into Solana, kind of navigating my way around in the ecosystem, trying to find the best communities to join, and I ran across a collab manager that told me that he could probably help me with the Nekozuma project, and he was rocking a DeGod with Babuksha on his PFP. And I was like, hey, that's really, really nice, man. And he's like, yeah, it's a DeGod. And so I looked into it and I saw the trait and I dived into it and I was like, wow, well, if one day, if I ever get a chance to buy a DeGod, this is definitely going to be one of the first ones that I get. So I went shopping and I really remember this vividly because I was looking through the DeGods Magic Eden page when I was eating Japanese food with my wife one day, and I was just going through it. And I remember that there was this one DeGod with a Gucci goggles and red skin, very, very clean. And I was about to buy that one. And then, you know, lo and behold, someone bought that before me and I ended up with Babuksha. Little did I know that Babuksha trait was actually not one of the most, I guess, coveted trait. It was loved by a certain group of holders, but not so much loved by the rest of the people as well. So, you know, I eventually found another one that I liked. Then I ended up with a supernova background it was a, what's that hoodie? With a black hoodie. Damn, the name came across in my mind. But anyways, it was a supernova background, blue skin, black hoodie, and propeller hat. Now, I didn't really know that the propeller hat was something that was quote unquote one of the rug traits, because propeller hat coming from the DeGods collection, which is the undead version, looked quite alright, like, to be honest. But when it was dead, a lot of people thought it looked really, really weird and not that many people liked it. And I didn't actually know that. I actually thought it looked quite cool. And there was actually like an art upgrade once for these traits, and it was actually supposed to be like a black bucket hat. But then for some reason, I think at that time, there were some people that was against the idea of actually changing that later. It was like the third upgrade. And so eventually, I think the team stuck with that upgrade art of the propeller from the DeGod turning into the propeller hat of the dead god. And apparently it wasn't one of the most loved ones as well. So I was stuck with that one for a while, and I was proudly rocking that one until a couple of my OTC trader friends reached out to me, and I realized sooner or later that it wasn't something that was that popular. And so just a fair warning for you guys. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, buying PFP art is purely subjective, and it's something that each one of us have our own taste, and it's always going to be a bit different from person to person. So, you know, to each his own. This is supposed to be some, I guess, outline my journey as well as perhaps tips and tricks that you can learn. So let's get straight into it. So one thing to try and stay away if you actually do want to flip your way, or hopefully having your PFP appreciate in value. So there's two sides that you can go about this, right? You can either just accumulate as many floors, which means that, you know, you don't have to care regarding how it looks. You can get the ugliest ones, and you can get the ones that just look the weirdest and the, I guess, goriest or the most sick looking ones, and just accumulate as much floors as you can get in hopes that those amounts of floors can then trade you into a rare one. So before the whole news that DeGods was going to move to ETH, a mythic skin that was nice and beautiful, that was clean, no arrows, no things poking from the head. It was kind of like 2 floors for 1 mythic, or sometimes it'll be like 2.5 floors for 1 mythic, which means if the floor price was 100 SOL, a mythic skin would be around 200 to 250 SOL value approximately. Now, you know, as the floor price of the DeGods collection has increased, as well as the SOL price has increased. So right now, I think the floor is at around, let's say 500. So a mythic skin should be sitting at around 1,000 SOL. Now, lo and behold, NFT Doctor published a thread not long ago that the mythic skins are going to be worth a lot more on ETH, and hence it just drove up FOMO, drove up the floor prices. It shows that although he may not have that many influencers, he's not an influencer at all by any means, but he's very influential in the DDAO. And he's also someone that a lot of high level traders respect because he's been very successful in flipping, and he's actually in real life doctor, which is very, very cool. Hopefully he'll come and watch this video and get on a stream with me one day. Hopefully, let's see. So that's now a mythic is around 3 to 4 or up to 5 floors. So if the floor is around 500 now, a mythic should cost around 1,500, 2,000 SOL. So you can either go the route of holding multiple floors. So basically using your SOL to buy as many floors in as many quantities as you want, which is the route of many people like Vince, who's a whale friend and a good friend of ours in the Nekazuma community. He's also part of the Royal Council. He has many, many floors, and he told me that he hardly keeps any of the nice looking ones because he rather has that quantity that, you know, he could then flip and trade as much as he wants without feeling any attachment. He told me that the only one that he feels attached to is actually the Pharaoh that he's rocking, which has a special story in and of itself, which will definitely let him share that story on our next live stream with him. So that's the route of going for floors. Now, the other route is to actually collect the cleanest DeGods in as much of a good price as much as possible. So what do I mean? It would be best for you to find a DeGod that, or I guess a dead god that looks as clean. Now, when I say clean, it means no sticks, no branches sticking out on the both sides of the heads, no arrows at the back, no weird knives at the head and stuff like that. Now, to each his own. Some people like that. For me, I don't think having a PFP with a sword or a knife stuck between the middle of the head is nice at all. But yeah, that's my personal opinion. So the ones without those are usually like the ones that are considered cleanest. So no sticks, no frills. Even cigarettes are not that coveted or not that much loved because not many people want a PFP that is smoking despite them being smokers. You know, it doesn't mean that they want a PFP that is smoking. For me, I personally prefer gods or PFPs that are very, very clean, very elite, very like clean cut, clean clothes, beautiful colors, clean palettes, and as little frizz and frills as much as possible. And of course, without any of the rug trades. Now, if the floor was 500, for me, I think if you could get a clean DeGod that you like, that had really, really nice colors, clean palettes, no sticks and frills for like, let's say 505 to 510 SOL for a clean DeGod, I think to me that is quite reasonable. Now, why is that? Because those clean floors, first off, it's going to be one PFP that you would really, really feel like you want to rock with, and you're going to be very proud to rock that with. But at the same time, if you do want to trade, if you need SOL, you can either trade down and you can ask people that have the quote unquote uglier floors to actually add Solana for you to have more SOL in your wallets if you need to do that. Now, if you are going to trade up, sometimes it's beneficial, sometimes not. It really depends on which person you talk to. Sometimes it can be not so in advantage for you, and you might feel that you're not gaining that much from trading up to another one that you like, because most of the traders are going to value your clean floor the same as the floor, which is understandable because, you know, they want to be able to basically profit from those clean gods. Like I said, they are going to be able to trade down for an uglier floor plus SOL. So a double time profit. Now, I'm sharing this honestly so that you guys can have the education and have the knowledge going into the market to know what to expect so that you are well prepared. This is in by no means trying to, you know, talk bad or undermine the people that are there. They're all my homies and their friends anyways. But I just think that it's good that if you guys have this buying guide so that you won't make the same mistakes and as well not waste so much time in finding your right god. Now, in terms of like, so there's two paths, yeah? Accumulate as much floors as you can and as well as getting the clean ones. I personally went with getting the clean ones, and I just basically traded my way. I was willing, to pay extra bits and pieces here to try and work my way towards getting the DeGod that I wanted. And then I also tried to always keep my eye on Magic Eden as well as Hyperspace on finding clean floors that I like, and that's something that I would want personally to basically accumulate and hopefully use those to combine to buy into a mythic DeGod. And that's how I actually got my radio skin DeGod, the green one that you probably see me use the most. That's how I mainly got that green DeGod, because I traded 2 of my gods for that one. Now, the other one that I'm very proud to hold, which, took a very long time to actually get, is the Hawaiian ape. Now, the story of apes is very interesting because Chak, who's also another big whale in the DDAO, he's been preaching about collecting apes for a long time because he knows that sooner or later, even if we didn't move to ETH, the ETH people that are coming into Solana that are looking into DeGods, because of the culture and the vibes that we have from Bored Ape Yacht Club, people are going to be inclined towards getting apes. And so he had this conviction that apes are going to be worth a lot more from the floor value around 100 to 150, or at least 50 plus from the floor. And lo and behold, look at where we are now. The ape floors are very, very high. There's not that much listed, and the beautiful apes are basically right now off the market, and it seems that a lot of people have been accumulating. Now, my ape took quite a long time because I had to actually snag it from the Sir Candy Apple, which, as you guys know, is one of the artists in the D-Labs team who's been holding on to this Hawaiian ape for a very long time, and I'm very, very proud to actually own it. There were many times that I have been tempted to actually sell it, but now that it's with me for some time, I think I'll just hold on to it until we hit ETH because it is a one-of-a-kind piece. So, apes are very, very cool. I think now is definitely, I could see the potential of it going higher. This is not financial advice, by the way, guys. It's, pure speculation, but I do feel that it can go higher simply because of the fact that the art is just so beautiful on the facial traits of the apes. If you zoom closely, you can see that they are very, very well done. I mean, all of the facial features of the DeGods are just very, very beautiful. And, I wish I had a very sleek face like that as well. But anyways, hats off to Johnny, or you might know him as Delilah DeGods. So, apes. Another trait that I think could be cool that I personally feel is undervalued right now are actually the X-ray skins. Now, why do I say that? Because I feel that outside of the mythic skins, which include nebula skins, the acid skins, radioactives, transcendent skins, the other one that stands out very uniquely is the X-rays because of, the clear, kind of like glowy, kind of like ghost-like vibes. And it's very, especially the ones that sees a lot of cleavage. Like, it just has this interesting aura to it that I don't think is appreciated enough. So I personally think that that's one of the undervalued skins. And another skin that I think is really undervalued right now are the gold skins. Now, when you look at the gold ones at first, you might not feel like it's that special, but when you actually rock it as a PFP, it really, really stands out. And you can see it that it's gold. It's not just like, pure like yellow skin, but it's actually gold skin. And it's in a Pantone and in a color palette. It's just very, very beautiful. And Frank was telling the story of how they took a lot of time to actually work on this color palette. And it's very, very special to the collection as well. So just my thoughts there. Now, it seems to me that the skins that are perhaps underappreciated right now is the pastel skins, which I think is pretty interesting. Now, unfortunately, I haven't seen many pastel skins that have really nice combinations when generated into a PFP collection, simply because there's so many colors in the pastel skin. And like a simple clothes, like the only way that I can see a pastel skin work is like a pure naked one, or a very simple, like, just a clean DDAO logo t-shirt, with the shirt and maybe a black tee would look nice. But I personally haven't seen any pastels that I like specifically, except the one that perhaps biased towards, which is IC's DeGod, which is a doctor with a pastel skin, which is pretty, pretty cool as well. The zombie skins, I haven't seen that many of. From my understanding, they are pretty, pretty rare. What I like about the new website of the DeGods is that you can actually go into their whole collection and see in the Explorer page and see kind of like, the ranking of the floor price. Now, another, I guess, cool skin that I think not a lot of people valued it that much is actually one of the floor skins that I feel is definitely overlooked right now. And I think this is probably one of the best floor skins in the whole collection. So if you see a clean one that is sitting on the floor, you know? So for example, yeah, so if you look at something like this, so this is called, the skin is called turquoise. Now, I personally think that the turquoise skin is one of the cleanest floor skins that you can get, and this combination is actually pretty good. Like, you know, he has a clean sleeveless shirt, you know, it's DeGods City, he's got that gold chain on, he's got those sunnies. Now this pair of sunnies is pretty interesting because not that many people like it, because some think that it's a bit too crazy and it's not, and it's a bit too wacky, and it's not so, I guess, elite looking or not so clean looking. Now this is personal preference. I personally don't mind. I think this hairstyle is also pretty wild. At this price, $533 at current floor price, it's around like it's around 30 sol plus from the floor. I think if this was around 500 or 505, I think it's, for me, I think it's a buy. Yeah, let's go back to the collection. When I say clean, like something like this is questionably not so clean. Now, let me explain why. So first off, the mouth, it looks weird. It's not so, I guess, aesthetically pleasing. I don't think anyone wants to have a mouth that, you know, has, you know, their skin ripped off like that. It's not, realistically, it's not something that's very appealing. Now, this hairstyle, this is very different from the mullet hairstyle, just so that you guys are clear. The mullets are cool, and some people love it. It's the one that Patty Ice has been rocking for ages, and it looks awesome. But this is definitely not the same hairstyle as the mohawk, excuse me, as the mullet, but it's called the hippie hair. So just want to warn you guys that this hippie hair to some people is just definitely very, very unloved, simply because, you know, as you can see, there's a bit of gore here and it doesn't look so pleasing to the eyes at all. Now, this is just a word of warning. You guys don't have to believe me. Now, this is all up to, you know, your own personal judgment, but this is just a fair warning. But this t-shirt though, excuse me, this shirt is of course quite a cool trait with the black denim jacket, and it's actually one of the best. So I think we covered quite a lot in this video. So yeah, let's wrap this video up. So key takeaways of this part 1 of the DeGods buying guide is, first, choose your path, which path you want to go to. You want to, you know, buy any off the floor that you feel like it's a good price, and when you see the floor start to move down, you just accumulate as much as you can so that you can trade them freely. Or you want to go with the path of collecting the clean ones. In that route, try and, you know, pick the trades that at least are a bit easier to move and are at least not the ones that are not so loved by the majority of the traders. So recap the undervalued trades that I think, first off, is the X-ray skins. I believe they are one of the most undervalued trades right now. And if that's not a mythic skin, another skin that I think is very undervalued is the turquoise skin. So with that said, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Please leave a like and a comment, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode. See ya.